All right.
All right.
All right, all right.
Anyone ever check that out for me? See if we're live.
The Second Amendment.
And we're live. What's up, folks?
What is up?
All right.
All right, all right. Hold on, let me make sure. Is the volume working?
Second Amendment.
Yes. Volume's working. We are good.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Oh, that
Yeah.
is the best movie. If you haven't watched that movie, watch
Dude,
that
I watched
movie.
it the other day. I was like, I have to add that.
I love the smell of napalm in the
Hey,
morning.
show us your signs, Cap. We're here talking about guns and the Second Amendment. Let's take a list. What is that? That says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What part of shall not don't you understand? My hands are up. Okay, I get it. Very nice. What's the other sign?
The other sign says no trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again.
Interesting. So, let's talk about the Second Amendment. And obviously, you guys all heard about the Buffalo mass shooting.
Yeah.
So, Cap showed me this video I came across. This says how the Buffalo mass shooter got
Before you play
exactly what he wanted. Do you want us to play this?
Before you do, that guy right there, his name's Colion Noir. His links are in the description for all the videos. But this guy, he's been on like Fox News. He's been on He's been on like tons of news channels. He's actually located in the DFW area, and he's a big
interesting.
QA activist. And he actually, from what I remember, is somewhat of a lawyer as well.
Okay.
So,
All right, let's check it out.
America is being trolled by an 18-year-old psychopath, and he has a front row seat to the entire show. Everything this guy did was designed to get media attention and drive the biggest divide possible by placating to every talking point the anti-gun far left has. He left an 180-page manifesto. That's a book. He even wrote it in question and answer form like he was being interviewed, and he made it a point to answer every question you'd think to ask someone who just slaughtered people in cold blood and hit every single possible racist talking point, and then says all of his radicalization happened online during COVID. He explains why he chose the weapon to use, using every single anti-gun buzzword used by the anti-gun lobby. Hell, it sounded like they wrote it for him. Then he literally scribbles every racist word or phrase he could think of on the guns he used, and then to top it all off, this walking human fart of a lunatic live streamed the entire massacre. He packaged together an online mass shooting starter kit, gave it to the media, and said, "Make me famous and make some more mass shooters." And the media said, "Okay." On May 13th, 2022, nobody knew who the hell this kid was. But by May 14th, he was the most famous person in the world. And by May 15th, we knew every thought and desire he had because they were combing through his 180-page written self-interview like it was some long-lost text from the Communist Manifesto. He created a snuff film, and it got passed around like it was the missing Ray J and Kim Kardashian sex tape. It's not like the footage was caught on surveillance cameras. He live streamed it. Now I can't go on the internet without seeing videos of him in court. Articles about what we know about the shooter, who was his mama, what did he have for breakfast that day. And then to make themselves feel better about sensationalizing a clout-chasing psychopath, the media sprinkles a couple of videos about the people who were actually killed. We gave him exactly what he wanted. The same thing I've been saying for 9 years now. Every time there's a mass shooting, for the next month you'll hear the shooter this, the shooter that, his family this, his life that. But when somebody stops a mass shooting from happening, all you hear is this. Why wouldn't an insecure, unstable young man who believes he's invisible to the world and has nothing to live for, but wants to leave his mark on the world before he goes so that he can validate his life and make the world stand up and take notice of him, not commit a mass shooting? The media practically turns these guys into celebrities overnight. I give you 10 seconds to rattle off the name of the most recent mass shooters in the last decade. If you're able to mention even one name to yourself, that's insane. What's the name of the guy who had a carry permit who tackled the guy who shot Gabrielle Gifford? Name the guy in the mall who had a concealed carry permit and stopped and deterred the guy who shot the mall up in Oregon. Or the name of the person who shot and stopped the kid who tried to shoot at the movie theater a couple of days after Newtown happened. Not one of these people's names are identifiable within 10 seconds, but I'm forced to learn the inner details of these sociopaths' lives who try to amass the highest body count. He wanted to solidify himself as the architect of how to become more famous than ever by committing mass shootings, and it worked. This guy was nothing more than a copycat. His 180-page manifesto was mostly plagiarized from another mass shooter's manifesto and video of a mass shooting that he only knew about because, of course, the media sensationalized and made that guy famous. He literally says that the previous shooter's live stream is what started everything you see here. He wanted infamy. He just used his newfound racism to justify his actions. This was about him and making himself famous. He saw a playbook and copied it. Nothing he did was original. Nothing he said was original. He simply wanted to amass the highest body count using the most infamous gun so that the media will talk about it, making him infamous for eternity. Because now, anytime there's a mass shooting, his name will come up, and he decided not to kill himself because he realized it would be better to live to see and experience the fame instead of dying. Now, he'll end up in prison and be taken in and protected by the other racist gangs in prison who hate black people and praise him for what he did. Congratulations to America's mainstream media. You did it again.
Wow, that's crazy. So I guess my take on this is, seems like there's an agenda in place to try and get rid of the Second Amendment. Is what were you guys saying? Was that what? Do you guys suspect that at all?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sure.
I mean, that's always been the the Democrats' agenda has been like gun control and banning guns. It's not a surprise.
No, they're actually trying to introduce a tax that you have to pay per gun that you own.
Yeah, they're gonna be taxing it.
Yeah, so it's like property taxes. So each gun you own, you have to pay, each year you have to pay to own a gun. So only the rich people can own guns.
Made another.
Let me get off of this one here. So, Second Amendment, what is it? I mean, some people might misinterpret what it actually means. What is the second? How do you interpret the Second Amendment?
The right to protect yourself. Your right to have means of protection if you feel like your life is unsafe.
What, the Second Amendment? What does it mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, I think the Second Amendment was put in place by our founding fathers so that if our government ever got to the point where it was stripping away the fundamentals that they set in place, that we had the right to do something about it. Basically,
Yeah.
they were just saying, hey, if you feel like you're being mistreated based on the fundamentals that we've set in place, then you have the right to step up. Like, you're not going to be in the wrong, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it says, so here's the exact words of the amendment too. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So basically it's saying we need to have we have the right to create a militia, form a militia, and obviously have the right to have guns, and that should never be infringed. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So,
There's a video.
but
I sent
obviously,
you. Did you see the one about the cannon?
which one?
I said you one about a cannon from the same guy.
Why does Joe Biden keep lying about people owning cannons?
Yeah, this one. Play that one.
The United States of America has to preface his alleged support of the Second Amendment with the words,
It's going to sound bizarre. I support the Second Amendment.
I know this might sound bizarre. Clearly, no one believes that he supports the Second Amendment. Joe Biden saying he supports the Second Amendment is like Will Smith saying he supports G.I. Jane jokes about his wife. Biden, someone who supports the Second Amendment, doesn't spend his entire career bragging about passing a gun control law that once banned the most popular semi-automatic rifle in the country.
I'm the guy who led the effort to get an assault weapons ban, as well as a limitation of the number of bullets that could be in a magazine.
Someone who supports the Second Amendment doesn't try to repeal a law that was specifically passed to protect the gun industry from people filing frivolous lawsuits in an attempt to bankrupt.
Hey,
the
Cap,
entire
they're
industry.
asking what kind of gun you got.
Is it what kind of gun that's behind me or the gun that's in the video?
Doesn't admit
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Show us your gun.
That one? I have a segment that I want to do.
Which means they're going to
I'll show it. I'll show it.
Bingo. You're right if they have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period.
Someone who supports the Second Amendment doesn't threaten to
this
come
one?
There it
the
is.
largest Second Amendment
There's one.
organization.
Hey,
and the
it's in the
entire
dark. I
presidency.
can't see it.
Hold on.
Manufacturers, I'm going to take you on.
Yeah, you're dark. Why is it so dark in there?
Joe Biden
I like it dark. I'm a vampire.
He's a
Oh,
dark
there it is.
person.
Is that an is that it? Is that the AR?
No.
What is that?
This is actually a 22.
That's 22.
Yeah.
Can't even hear the video.
You could own a cannon.
Oh, my bad. Is it not loud enough?
Keep repeating this stupid statement,
No.
especially considering
Not when you're talking over it.
fact
Oh, my
checked
bad.
as false, and he still keeps saying it. When the Second Amendment was passed, there were no federal laws about the type of gun you could own, and no states limited the kind of gun you could own. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of our Constitution gives Congress the power to grant letters of marque and reprisal, which were special waivers that allowed private individuals to act as pirates on behalf of the U.S. against countries engaged in the war with it. Individuals who were given these waivers and owned warships obviously also obtained cannons for use
Empty.
in battle.
Doesn't even have
The
the
Second
bolt.
Amendment wasn't written to tell us what we can and can't own. It was written to tell you, i.e. the government, what you can't infringe on, i.e. the right to keep and bear arms. It literally says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed in the damn amendment. This isn't about us. This is about you, and the Second Amendment didn't say you can ban us from owning certain guns because you think we shouldn't have them. When the Second Amendment was passed, the citizens had access to the most modern rifles available at the time. And right now, AR-15s are the most modern semi-automatic rifles in our time. The Founding Fathers wrote the damn amendment because they wanted us to be able to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. Why the hell would they write the Second Amendment and then limit the people to old, outdated arms? I'll tell you why. Because they didn't. Joe Biden thinks the Second Amendment is only about
No clue.
hunting. And when you think the Second Amendment is only about hunting, you say stupid shit like this.
Southern Delaware, there were a lot of hunting and fishing down there. I was walking up one of the creek beds, and the guy standing there said, "You want to take my gun?" I said, "No, take your gun." He said, "Well, you're telling me I can't have more than X number of bullets in my gun." And I said, "What do you think the deer you're hunting wear Kevlar vest? What the hell you need 20 bullets for? You must be a hell of a terrible shot."
Joe Biden has been making this stupid cannon argument for years. Every year it gets debunked, and he still keeps saying it. The reason he
that's
does this
ridiculous.
is because he knows the people who are not versed on the Second Amendment will believe what he is saying is true. And that's why it's important to share and spread videos like this one with as many people as you can. The Second Amendment doesn't give the right to keep and bear arms. It protects it as a natural right. So at the end of the day, we are the ones responsible for allowing this right to be infringed. But the more people who know the truth about the Second Amendment, the better protected the Second Amendment will be. Speaking of cannons, The shirt I'm wearing is the original design on the flag flown.
I got a flag hanging over there.
The Texans successfully resisted
Nice.
forces who were ordered to seize their cannon. So, I think it only appropriate that you click the link in the description or head over to shop.mysticoonnoir.com and pick up this shirt to let Joe Biden know how we feel about his so-called "you can't own a cannon" argument. You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident.
Yeah, you can turn it off now.
I myself, hoping I never have to go through a
Do it.
self-defense
You
shooting.
can turn the video off now.
Member of the USCCA.
Yeah, it's gonna.
So,
So,
you want to hear the
Go on.
story behind the flag? A little side
Yeah.
story. I'm sure Justin knows it because we had literally 7th grade Texas history is devoted to it's devoted to Texas history.
yeah, let's hear about it.
So basically, what happened was they were ordered to give back the cannon to the Mexican army because at the time it was given to them to defend against the natives. But then once Texas decided to declare the independence for Mexico, the Mexican army was like, well, we want our cannon back. So they buried it, and when the army came, they were like, well, it was stolen. It's gone. And then as the army leaves, they unburied it and fired it upon them and made the army retreat.
Wow.
So, a little fun story to that. That other video I sent you about the homeowner is pretty good follow-up to that argument.
Shoot,
Right there.
homeowner, Alabama homeowner shooter.
Yep.
Shoots alleged intruder in the head.
Oh, actually,
during
yeah, I
9/11.
heard about this.
Oh, let's hear
And
it.
I'm going to continue to say it. Buy a gun, learn gun safety, and get training. Because you can't depend on the police to keep you safe. Not because they don't want to keep you safe, but because they can't always be there in time.
The father of the homeowner tells WDHN that just after 5:30 a.m., the suspect was trying to break in.
Gotta
by
have a
going
gun,
in
man.
From the back of the home. When that was unsuccessful, the father says the suspect broke the window in the front, and when he attempted to climb in the window, the homeowner shot him in the head. Deputies say they received a 911 call having to do with a burglary in progress, and when they arrived to the home in the Sylvan Grove community, they found the suspect unconscious on the ground next to the window. The suspect was then rushed to the hospital where the suspect remains in critical condition. Deputies confirmed that the homeowner and the suspect did not know each other. The investigation is still in the early stages. This case remains under investigation with the Dale County Sheriff's Office, so stick with WDHN as we will continue to follow this case.
There are an estimated 240 million calls made to 911 every year in this country. And the city with the shortest police response time is Los Angeles at 5 minutes and 7 seconds. 5 minutes. 5 minutes is an eternity when your life is on the line, especially when the only thing you have to defend yourself is your son's raggedy little league baseball bat, and the person in your house likely has a gun. The person in this story was literally on the phone with dispatchers when the suspect broke an exterior window and began to come into the house, and the homeowner used his gun to shoot the intruder. Imagine if he didn't have that gun. By the time the suspect started coming in the house, he'd be forced to play hide and seek in his own home until the police showed up. Much the same way this woman had to do.
Is he in the house, Linda? Are you sure? Linda, if he opens that door, you shoot him, you understand?
Police say 32-year-old Paul Slater probably thought no one was home and used a crowbar to break into the house. They say he went after one of the 9-year-old twins as they ran upstairs and then broke through a locked bedroom and a locked bathroom before finding the attic where the kids and their mother were hiding.
All right, you stay in the attic, all right? He's in the bedroom? Okay, shh, relax. Just remember everything that I showed you, everything that I taught you, all right?
She's armed with a .38 revolver, drops the phone with her husband, and starts firing.
She's shooting him. Okay. Shoot him again. Shoot him.
Slater was shot 5 times in the face and neck, but managed to stumble out and drive away before crashing his SUV
Damn.
up the road and spilling onto a neighbor's yard.
I want you to keep in mind, she shot this man 5 times with the revolver, and he still lived. Now imagine if there was more than one intruder. She only had 5 or 6 shots in a revolver, so all that "you don't need more than 10 rounds" rhetoric is nonsense. After being shot 5 times, he was still able to run back to his SUV and try to drive off. And all of this happened before the police could even get there. I'm begging you, do not let these stupid politicians and these anti-gun groups fool you into thinking you can rely on the government for your safety.
Hear, hear.
Believing that when you call the police, Dr. Strange will conjure up a time portal to send the police through to show up at your house before the intruder gets there. The police do the best they can, but they're only human. Whether you like it or not, you're the only person responsible for your safety. Hell, the Supreme Court ruled in 2005 that the police do not have a constitutional duty to protect a person from harm. So it's not me just being a conspiracy theorist. The Supreme Court said it with its own mouth. The only person responsible for your safety is you. Basically, the same government that tries to tell you to give up your guns because they'll keep you safe is also telling you that they don't have a legal obligation to keep you safe. So do you and your family a favor. Go out, buy a gun, learn gun safety, and get training. Because as the famous saying goes, when seconds count, help is always minutes away. You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even
That's
days after
pretty
having
good
a
point there.
self-defense. When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking.
I think I sent you one more video.
Yeah, you did. Oh, here it is. But I think I messed up my share screen. Hold on. There we go. We back up.
Yep.
Okay.
From the president, you don't have a right to defend yourself because some lunatic committed an atrocity in Buffalo over the weekend. Colleen Moore has been defending the Sacramento for quite some time. He joins us tonight with a reaction to what he
This
heard.
is just
Colleen Moore,
crazy.
thanks so much for joining us. What did you make of the president's remarks today?
I thought it was ridiculous. Because if you really put things into context, he keeps talking about this idea of weapons of war, and the AR-15, and how we need to ban them. But he doesn't mention the fact that in the Charleston shooting, the guy used a handgun, and he killed 9 people there. So at the end of the day, this overzealous focus on firearms and what guns he used and didn't use, what we should be talking about is the ability to empower people to defend themselves when things like this arise. Because clearly, knowing somebody's dropping the ball with respect to making sure that they get through the system to the point where they actually pick up a gun and do this, even though they have the pre-indicators to tell them that, you know what, this person has a mental problem that should probably be looked into. So since they don't do that, allow us to have the ability to protect ourselves.
There was a horrifying interview today with a young woman who was in the grocery store, and she crouched down and called 911 and whispered and said, "There's an active shooter, please come help." And the 911 operator said, "Why are you whispering?" She said, "Because there's a shooter." And the woman got so annoyed she hung up on the woman in the grocery store. And it sort of reminded you, you can't expect help to arrive immediately. Why can't you defend yourself?
Yo, what?
You can't, because at the end of the
That
day,
is
no matter
crazy.
what, even with the best intentions in the world, from the government, from police, so forth and so on, you are your
Why
own
are you
person.
whispering?
That's just the reality of it. So at the end of the day, from that perspective, allow me to have the thing or the most effective tool that I need to protect that life. Because when it comes down to it, when I need something to happen within seconds, help is only going to be minutes away.
Yeah. And that's the right of self-defense given you by God, not by Joe Biden. And he can't take it away.
You know, we talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family.
Let's see the video.
Help me spread this message by liking and sharing
What kind of
this
gun
video
was
with
that?
everyone you know. And don't forget to
That
subscribe
gun,
because the Second Amendment.
back up.
Hold up. What kind of gun is that?
Got a silencer.
That's looked pretty nice.
I honestly couldn't tell you. He's got so
Yeah,
many,
James doesn't
he's got
know.
so many aftermarket parts on it. It's hard to tell. He's changed out literally most of it.
I wonder if it says in the description
I'm sure he has a video on his channel, literally covering the gun itself. It's more than likely 6 hour, because that's what he's been reviewing a lot of lately.
He's got a lot of followers. Hope he's on our list. So what do you guys think? Let's chat about the Second Amendment. And so do you guys think there's going to be more mass shootings, and how is that going to impact the Second Amendment?
Oh yeah, anything.
And of course,
push
there's going to be more.
The rhetoric, right?
So how are they going? How is this happening? Let's say if this is a conspiracy, like how is it happening?
How is it happening? Well, they pay somebody off to do it, and they get free room and board in prison, obviously. Or if they decide to end their life, they don't have to worry about it. And then,
Do you think the government paid this guy to do this, or do you think this was something orchestrated by the government, or is that the conspiracy theory?
Or lobbyists, or somebody that has something to do with the bill that's going to be passed here soon. Definitely, for sure. But the kicker is they're going after like the AR. Okay, yeah, sure, it looks just like an M4. This gun right here, which is empty and has no clip in it whatsoever, which you guys, just so you know, this gun right here is an M4A1, Springfield Arms M4A1. It holds the longest, or it did up until like 2000. I think it was like 2008 or something, 2006, something like that. It from 1972 held the longest range kill. This is a battle rifle. This is the big brother of the M1 Garand, which was used in World War I. This shoots a .308 round, which is twice as big as a 5.56, I would say. And they're not even, they don't care about this. Granted, I have the one that's black, so it looks more deadly, but most of the time these come in a wood grain stock, and people don't care about that kind of stuff. But this gun right here, I have a 20 round mag in this. I'm not going to show you or anything. It's in my room, put up in safe. But I have a 20 round mag. You can go online and watch somebody do a mag dump on these. You can get a 50 round mag for these things and just unload, and this will go through 3, 4, 5 walls before it stops. So you take this inside somewhere, and this is a short range one. This is a 16-inch barrel. This would do so much more damage, but it's all about an appearance and a narrative they're having to go for, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. So what do you guys think the cutoff is? Like,
Thank
what
you.
draws the line? Like, what should you allowed to have? What shouldn't you be allowed to have to protect yourself?
All the options available.
Because the shooter that he was using was an AR, right?
All the options available after you've been cleared and tested and whatever.
Well, what do you mean all the options? Like, so should you be able to carry a grenade or like have a grenade? Like, where does the firearms, like, where does it stop? Like, can we have a tank? Like, no, like where?
A grenade is a grenade. A tank is a vehicle. That's not a gun. I'm talking about guns, firearms, something to defend yourself with, a practical.
Yeah.
So practicality is where you draw the line. Okay.
But
that's what I was getting at. Like, where do you draw the line?
If somebody pulls up to your house in a tank, you're gonna need a tank to defend yourself.
Right.
You know.
The tank is that's your left field.
But that's what I'm saying. What goes the line? What are you?
Firearms.
Just firearms.
You don't need an M249 to defend your house. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. But the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms, not the right to bear guns. So arms would be, and
Right.
Really?
That's what I was getting at. What's practical? But you don't need an M249 to defend your house. But if your government comes after your rights, then possibly. Yes or no?
Yeah.
I don't understand. What did you say?
The whole point of the Second Amendment is for if the government starts stripping away your rights as a human, correct? It's to defend yourself and that your rights that are given to you by God, not by any government. Yes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So anything that's practical to that sustainability. Because, yeah, sure, if the government wants to come after your stuff, they have the army or whatever. But you also have to think that those are people's husbands and mothers and daughters and sons and whatever as well. So they have family too and that are civilians, and it's not like everybody's going to be like, yes, sir. You know what I mean? You have to be practical with it.
Well, the first Second Amendment has already been infringed.
The Second Amendment has been infringed on so many different levels, with all the different restrictions and legislations and stuff. Like gun-free zones. Gun-free zones, I think, are...
But so do you think there should be no restrictions at all?
No, I didn't say there shouldn't be restrictions. But for people that cannot follow laws, just like there are restrictions that you can't, do certain things if you don't follow the law, right?
Right, correct. But if all firearms were legal, what restrictions would you put?
I am not the one to say or make that judgment. All I'm saying is that a person that's not following the law doesn't care about any restrictions that I say.
Yeah.
Or that anybody puts in place.
Yeah, for sure.
So practicality comes back into play. You're going to need something to defend yourself against a criminal that doesn't care about any laws. Right? Practicality.
So there shouldn't be. So what I'm saying is, you think there shouldn't be any restrictions as long as it's practical.
I mean, everybody always wants to say, look at Sweden and all these other like Nordic countries and for their like economic and their social whatever. It's just like, why not look at it at their like military? All of their citizens are required to serve at least 2 years in the military and have rifles in their bedrooms and are armed as well. It's mandatory.
In some countries, yeah. But then there's other countries that in Europe that don't have any guns. Like they have really.
But those people had military experience. They have a military background with weapons.
Why not make it to where at least everybody has to be trained? Like it's a mandatory. Everybody has to be trained to have a firearm. You have to be trained. Like you have to take a certain amount of course.
So like a concealed handgun license or like something in that matter. Or like you have to take a class.
Why is that not okay?
I mean, I think that's
because people should have the choice to do that or not.
You have a choice to do it or not, and you have the right to get guns too. It's just like, you can't carry if you don't have a concealed carry.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
You don't. It's not saying we're not saying like you can't own a gun and not defend your home and your property and stuff. You just can't conceal carry that particular gun because you didn't go through the proper channels. What's wrong with what we have now? Just it being tidied up and taken care of and regulated better through.
Yeah, I agree. I think better regulations, but I don't think completely taking the rights away would be smart either.
Well, I don't think it should be like a government thing. I think it should be like it's odd that I'm going to say this, but like a people, it's like a volunteer type thing. Once these people have gone through the proper channels of being checked or whatever, they volunteer for the position and we go through and deliberate and then everybody kind of votes on it.
Yeah.
It's like it is a government body, but it's not a government body.
So let's talk more about how are they getting these people to shoot up? Because you said that this might have been a false flag or whatever. How are they getting these guys to? You said they're paying them off, but
how's going to prison pay off?
Yeah, like, hey,
free room and board. Have you not seen what prison looks like nowadays? Most prison cells have cell phones, they have TVs, they have snacks, they have free clothes, free food, a roof over their head, shower.
There's no freedom. I mean, I don't get. Why would you give up your freedom? I mean,
they have access to drugs and all kinds of things like that.
What about brainwashing? Like, they've been done studies of brainwashing, like the CIA, MK Ultra.
I mean, I think it's...
And doing brainwashing in 50s and 60s. There might be some, like, now it's kind of conspiracy road, but, you know, Harvey Oswald, maybe he was brainwashed to assassinate JFK. As, an inside job or whatever.
But why not say it goes as far as with all this money being shushed around and being printed? Like, who's to say that they don't throw some aside? Somebody, that's all I'm trying to say. It's a lot of money being funneled between different people and different places and things.
Yeah. But in that case, like, your money would be, you would be giving up. I mean, the money would be going to your family, right?
Exactly.
It would be
but
going to you.
In most cases, I mean, even then, like...
That's assuming the family would be okay with taking that money.
Well, that's the other thing, though, is you think that guy's he's going to be in jail for what?
Well, I mean, I assume he'll be in there for life.
Okay, well, that means that anything he needs or money, it's gets paid for. You know what I mean?
But what do you need? I don't get, why would you need that much money in prison? Like, you're stuck in...
Right, but do you not see the video where he's talking about he's a celebrity now? He's got everything he ever wanted. He's got money, he's got fame, he's got...
He's got to have some sort of instability, though, for him to make that kind of judgment call, like...
Well,
I'm
sure.
Gonna go to jail,
I'm sure.
Like,
who's to say that he didn't go to the military? He was like a military reject or something. And they picked him up.
Like, there's something mentally wrong with him, for sure. Still.
Oh, yeah, sure. And
whether
that's the problem, too, is they go after... That's what I was getting at with the whole M1 gun. That was an actual battle rifle in a war. Like, it's a civilian version, sure, but it was in Vietnam. The AR has never actually served in a war. But it has, but it hasn't. But you get what I'm saying. They're not even talking about that. So the thing about it is they're all like gun control, gun control, gun control. Why are we talking about gun control? Why don't we talk about mental health? Why don't we talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we put more regulation and more care and more thought into mental health, into why this guy went and did what he did instead of stopping him from getting a gun? Like, okay, sure, he couldn't get a gun. Next time he's going to go in there with a bunch of knives and start stabbing people, and he's going to get like 20 people because he's walking around the store silently stabbing people down the aisles before somebody even noticed him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, so the bottom line is, like you said, I mean, basically...
We're focusing on the wrong picture.
Yeah.
But it's all a money grab because there's no money in mental health.
And it's all part of the New World Order agenda, the Great Reset.
Well, I mean, that, and then if you look at any country, a lot of people like to point to Nazi Germany, but you can look at other nations... And anytime a government is looking to seize more power than it should, that's the first thing they go for is guns. Well, not one of the first, but it's in the top 10.
Yep.
So, and...
Yeah, it's crazy what's going on, man. It is really crazy. So let's talk about. I saw this article here. Kind of, let's go and get off a little topic here. But this was a rare monkeypox case identified in Massachusetts after European outbreak. Ew, look at that.
That's yummy.
It's like, it's gross. So the first U.S. case of monkeypox this year has been reported in Massachusetts after a small outbreak of the viral disease reported in several European countries. A man who has recently traveled to Canada has been hospitalized with a viral infection at Massachusetts General Hospital. Testing completed Tuesday confirmed that the man was infected with monkeypox, a rare but potentially serious viral disease that causes flu-like symptoms and swelling of the lymph nodes before progressing to a widespread rash on the face and body, the Massachusetts Department of Health said. Wow, so we got another, what, COVID situation?
Swine flu, bird flu, whatever the heck of those.
H1N1.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever it is to scare people away from what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is the gun bill that's trying to be passed.
So and what's in the
They can't go to COVID again, so they got to come up with something new.
I think the point is they're going to try, instead of force the law, like force the regulations to take our guns away, is they're going to try to get to where people are going to be so afraid of guns that they're willing to give them away.
Well, it's get them scared of that, and then
to
the people
vote tap guns law, stricter gun laws.
Right, and then the people that aren't sure about that, they're bringing in another disease to scare the remaining people that are skeptical about that, or direct the attention away.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I showed you the M1A, which was a Vietnam battle rifle, whatever. So this, which was sitting behind me, is a Mosin Nagant. Okay. And it's wood grain. It's a bolt action. That's awkward. It's a bolt action, and it was made in 1909. I want to say. Oh no, 1902. It was designed in 1902. It was. I want to say. Don't quote me on it though.
It's over 100 years old.
No, not this particular one, but the design is over 100 years old. This particular one was made in 1937, right before.
Damn, that's like 90 years ago. 80.
It was
80 years.
It's something. Yeah, it's like 70 something. But yes. So, and this one was made.
No, it's like 90 something.
No,
we suck at math.
1930. It's 2022.
2020.
It's 30. It's 1937. It's 22. It's got.
It's about 85. 85 years.
Anyways, but this, they're not. It's got a 5-round mag that's not detachable, and you load it through the top, strip clip. They don't necessarily care about this. They don't go after this.
Let me not share my screen so we can just put you on the screen so we can see your nice big gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on. I didn't mean to say it that way. Hold on.
Well, it's
there now.
It's live for everyone to hear. So.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit.
How you want?
Wait, why is this not working? Hold on.
Stop sharing your screen, fool.
I'm trying to fix it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get Zoom to come up. Oh shoot.
Dang it, Dap.
Oh, here we go. Stop sharing. Got it now. There we go. Now let's see it. Or wait, you're up now.
Sorry. Anyways, yeah, here she is. They're not going to go after this. There's no regulations on it. There's nothing. Anyway, this gun, this particular make and model, it has killed more people in the world than any gun in the history of guns. This gun went through World War I, the Bolshevik Revolution, World War II, and Cold War. It's a Russian, but it was the Russian main battle rifle.
Soviets.
So, and then this was the gun they used particularly during the Russian purge, Stalin's purge, to put people down.
Okay.
So, I mean, if anything, this gun is evil. You know what I mean? That was the concept I was trying to get at. But they're not going after it because it doesn't look evil, and it's not capable. It doesn't have a high capacity mag.
Well,
or whatever.
I think they're going after the guns that they're going after because they're just ignorant on guns. They think that those guns are like fully automatic weapons that can.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, that's what they claim them to be, is evil and whatnot. But then they don't even know the reality of what they're saying.
Yeah, but they're claiming them to be evil because they can shoot without being reloaded. They're not going after that gun because you have to.
But you still have
reload
to pull the trigger every time.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I get where you're coming from, but they're going after those weapons because they're ignorant and they think that they're fully automatic weapons that can just you can just easily just free fire at anything you want.
Right. Like, this is sure fun to have to take to the range, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
This is AR-15 that I have.
Like, the weapon that you just had before that, like, you wouldn't take into a school and try and mass murder somebody with because it's not, it's not something that you could just.
Isn't
you could just run up
same
and
gun that guy used, the AR-15?
Not the wooden one, the one that he was talking about before. Not that one.
The Buffalo shooter used that gun right there that you're holding in your hand.
No, that's not the gun that I was talking about. I was talking about the one before that.
AR, yes.
Yeah, but that's the same gun
type.
But no, the wood grain one.
Yeah, that's not
the wood grain one.
I know what you're talking about, J-Pat.
Yeah.
Yes, the wood grain one. I would not take it. But I would use this if, like, I mean, yeah, I would use the AR, but this is like
that
this one. That's not that's the thing. The other thing though is this is a specialty gun because it's made for shooting. It's a bolt action. It's made for shooting at a distance, precision shooting.
Yeah,
that's what that's what it's made for. But it was used as a battle rifle because in the 1900s, like 5 rounds was a lot. Or and at the beginning of World War I and stuff, 5 round magazine was a lot. Like that was a lot.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Cap, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
Shit's going to hit the fan, and you can only have one gun out of all the guns you have. Which one are you going to take? It is the end of the world.
I can't necessarily say it'd be 2. I'd carry 2.
You can only take
I'd have to carry 2.
You can.
That's not an option. You have to take one.
No, I would sacrifice. I would sacrifice the weight to carry it with me.
Which two would
probably be the AR because it's lighter and the rounds are easier to find and it takes 2 different kind of rounds. So
yeah.
So I would take this in an apocalyptic situation. I would find a different or put a different scope on this just so I had, more options because I have iron sights.
What kind of scope do you have on there right now?
It's just a red dot. It's a 6-hour red dot.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. I tried shooting with that. I didn't hit shit, but I love that gun.
It's all right. I prefer the iron sights. but I would put a more magnified scope to that I could hit stuff at a distance. But I would take this only because it suits two different kind of rounds. It takes 2.23 and 5.56, and it's just in a end of the world situation. Finding those is a lot easier. Plus, I can literally walk into a gun store and if it hasn't been touched, there's going to be like 80 of these sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, and those are loaded.
No, this is not loaded. But you can buy the mags anywhere, and mags are interchangeable. So like,
So you could have a bunch of mags.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's more versatile, and then like I could change this around. Say if I needed to, if I found another gun that I could use, and then like say, not saying like my kid because my kid's 5, but like if I found somebody that needed a lighter gun. This I would trade them this because it's really light and versatile, and I would train them on this. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if you're able to trade in that gun for any gun out there in existence, military, non-military, which gun would it be?
This one.
What gun is that?
The M1A. My Springfield.
M1A.
Love this gun. I've been searching.
So that's the gun of all the guns out there.
So far, it's my favorite. I've been searching for this gun for a year and a half, trying to get it since COVID. It's not even the right scope. I was just trying it out. I just left it on.
Is that like a sniper scope?
No, it's the scope that goes on the 22. I just threw it on there.
Okay.
Tried it out and it didn't work.
What we got going on? Anything in the chat?
It's pretty dead right now.
It's like
There's a lot of let's go Brandons and what gun is that?
Oh yeah, let's go Brandon.
Oh shit. Well guys, I think we had a pretty good talk tonight.
Thank you for your patronage.
Yes.
These nuts. Got him.
I say we call it a night. Tune in for next week. We'll be talking about UFOs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently, the Pentagon, Congress released new UFO
Another
footage.
diversionary tactic, ladies and gentlemen.
So, we will be...
You can't handle the truth.
We'll be signing off here, guys. So,
Appreciate
thank you
it,
guys. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Tune in next time. Adios, guys.
There we go.
Later.